Hello and merry meet. My name is Lady Tehila from the Coven of the Open Mind, and you're watching Sabbats 101. Hail and welcome. The topic this time is Beltane, the holiday of sex and love and erosmancy. On this day, the god and goddess are said to do the deed with love in their hearts and become as one. And when that happens, the goddess conceives of a child. And that child comes to represent the crop. The child grows within her, and when the child is born, we have the harvest, abundance, the blessings of the god and goddess, the ability to remain alive for another year. And for that, of course, we give thanks. But Beltane is about more than just the crop and the anticipation of fresher foods. It's really a celebration of heterosexuality, the creative power that comes from the combination between two opposing forces. And you find this theme of the birth of the child in many religions, a lot of them fertility religions, a lot of them pagan. But you even see this theme a little bit in Christianity, so it's really not that unheard of. Within Wicca, this theme usually takes the form of the Great Rite, which is done by many traditional Wiccans at every ritual, but for the more eclectic Wiccans, even who dodge away from the gendered nature of masculine and feminine much of the time, even those eclectic Wiccans will often still celebrate heterosexuality on the day of Beltane, athame, chalice on the altar, maypoles erect in the yard, etc. The Great Rite as a symbolic act represents lovemaking and conception, with the idea that the child is the manifestation of the spell. Think about it, especially in older days, children were literally necessary to ensuring that life goes on. Older folks don't come to starve because younger ones grow up to take care of them and have young ones of their own. Old ones help take care of the young ones and repeat. In today's world, there are so many people that it's really easy to feel out of touch with the necessity of this cycle. Wax, full, wane, repeat. However, without new children being born, society collapses in on itself like a dying star. We need some number of people to bring children into this world for the sake of perseverance. So it's worth it to celebrate heterosexuality and the blessings of fertility, literally and as a metaphor. As a metaphor, fertility magic is a form of sympathetic magic, as below, so above, right? As above, so below. So the act of conception represents the will and desire of those within the magical circle. And then they commit to the spell and they work towards it constantly, and they find every chance that they can in order to see the spell come to have a life of its own. So they grow that child until it's ready to spring forth into manifestation and carry on in its own way. So only then do you achieve true creative power, true manifestation ability, true ability to bring your will into ordered existence. So as I said, many Wiccans have some theme of conception and reproduction in all of their rituals because Wicca is a fertility religion. But still many others are more eclectic and detached from this sexual theme, this embodiment of creation that is more of a physical heterosexual nature. Many people instead treat it just like a duality between opposing forces, and that when you bring opposites together with intensity, then you bring about manifestation. But even for those eclectic types, Beltane today specifically is the one day where everyone is celebrating the theme of love, the manifestation of love into reality, the ability for life to propagate more life, to order to propagate more order, whatever that looks like for you. And that's why we have the concept of the maypole, which is a phallic shape that gets stood erect in the ground, and then you dance around it with a bunch of different colored, brightly colored ribbons, and the ribbons represent receptive intent, receptivity. And the idea is that the goddess receives her consort gladly. That's the point of Beltane, really. That only beings of love ought to be brought into existence, and it harm none, do as you will. So this is why we represent it with the phallic shape and the receptive ribbons dancing around it. The ribbons receiving that phallus, receiving the initiation, the action component, receiving it is a balance of opposing forces. So the god moves to sow his seed, and the goddess gladly receives him. And that is the holiday of Beltane. So ribbons are very common this holiday, braided in your hair, braided onto trees, braided as decorations all over the house, ribbons on the altar, representations of the maypole on the altar. The chalice and the athame usually have a prominent place on the altar as well. Decorating the outdoors with ribbon is common. So is bringing in some spring flowers into your indoor space and onto the altar. They have to be kept alive in water. If they die, you replace them this time of year. Bright colors, real crystals are very common representations on the altar as well. Many will spend the day or the season just going out and being out in nature, taking it all in, finding fairy circles or like natural formations that are circular in the grass or made out of rocks or mushrooms or something like that. And they'll find those and do ad-lib rituals out in nature, just really taking it in and loving it and honoring nature as well. A lot of like cleanups happen this time of year for that reason too. Many will slip away for some alone time with their significant others. Many will do a physical version of the Great Rite with their partners on this holiday. And then there are others who go to singles events and are dating. It's a very popular day for dating, for first dates, for hand fastings. Like our anniversary is May 1st as well, me and Ogenslav. So people will go to bonfires, they'll be dancing, they'll go to the beach, they'll just be out living life, feeling young, chasing the sun. All of these things are very common ways to celebrate the season of Beltane. Anything which celebrates life, love, and youthfulness. Foods you eat for this holiday include salads, fresh veggies. We have our arugula coming in right here. I'm so excited. Spinach, garlic, onions, things that keep the mosquitoes away, also very common. Savory foods. Some of the lettuce that's coming in will be fresh by the time of Beltane if you can plant it early enough. Cabbage is common. Rosemary and savory herbs are also very common. Honey as well, which is often fresh this time of year. Goat cheese, which is often fresh. Fresh milk, fresh soft cheeses, fresh butter. Tea is very common this kind of year, especially orange, black or green tea, sweet teas, sweet wines, as well as especially pink wines are common for this holiday. Flowers are the main scent and association of the season, especially braided into hair or made into flower crowns. Cherry, apple, and lilac are common flowers to see on the altar, and the most common to see crowns made is dandelions are often made into crowns, and also into biscuits. Dandelion is really common, I should have mentioned that. Any late spring bloomer is a good flower for this time of year, any of them. I think peonies are a late spring, they might be a summer flower. Lilies are the summer flower, that's the start of the summer when the lilies bloom, so we'll talk about that closer to Litha. As I said, the chalice and athame feature very prominently on the altar, usually a blade version of an athame as opposed to a crystal one. Maypoles, representations of phallic shapes that are wrapped in receiving intent of some kind, things that are braided brooms as well. And ribbons everywhere. Ribbons have no care. Ribbons mark what we shall weave as summer ebbs and flows and peaks. Braid our will as spake and rhyme. Wish times 3 and 9 times 9. Fairies come and bless us too. As we do will, it shall come true. Blessed Beltane, from all of us here at the Covenant of the Open Mind, blessed be. Come say hi. Hi. Wave at the camera. Hi. Say blessed be.
Blessed be.
Good job.